going on with dance and stuff? What's happening with dance and things? What's going on? What's happening? What's going on with dance and stuff? Reed, hello, welcome.
Hi, Reed. Today I was looking at the phrase YouTube Live or Instagram Live, and in my mind I read it as live, and so I feel like our YouTube Live should be YouTube Live, so that we keep living.
YouTube Live?
YouTube Live.
YouTube Live. YouTube. I could also just be, I'm so exhausted by the pandemic that feel like we can kind of just start mushing everything together, like YouTube Live. And that will mean YouTube Live.
No more consonants. That's Corona.
That's really what happened. That's really what happened in the Rona. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've been feeling bored, she said not to plug it, but I'm going to plug Isaac's book because it's hilarious, but also really, it gives me this deep sense of nostalgia for some things I got, but a lot of things I didn't. And it's a time in New York that I came into just in the late 90s that I just think is, I don't know. I loved this book so much. I suggest that you read it or listen to Isaac recite it herself on audible.com.
And I would say you should read it in tandem with the Mark Morris book because they pair together like this, and they should be sold as a box set.
Honestly, Reed, it's like I'm Mark and you're Isaac is how this goes.
It's true.
It's really, you make the costumes, I make the steps, but we're very collaborative, as we know from our guest who's showing up now. Ladies, gentlemen, and other, please welcome Isaac Mizrahi.
Hey,
work.
Am I on now? I thought I was on the whole time, but I was just listening.
You were just listening. Isaac, am I pointing to you now?
Was this how it goes?
No, you're not. I'm like there for you.
Here?
Oh, well, on me, you're here.
Hey, listen, wait. I just have something to point out. Jack is all kind of fine, like he's in paillettes or something. I can't exactly.
I did. I wore this paillette shirt that I got because I knew that you were, and it's sheer. If you can even see my, oh, there it is. There's my nipple.
And then Reed is all kind of plain in like a white t-shirt.
Yes,
that's right.
I like it. It's like Odette O'Deal.
It's very that. It's very Black Swan, White Swan. Also, Reed.
We all do that at the same time. We all.
1, 2, 3.
Mine was very, you know that thing in The Red Shoes, the ballet in the very beginning where they all jam in, and the last pose of that ballerina, I forgot her name, is like this. It's my favorite thing in the world.
When she comes in real close to show the makeup.
That's a different moment. I'm talking about, that's the Moira Shear moment when she's like, yeah.
Moira Shear. Isaac, I was thinking today that I feel like a good suggestion from you for our listeners, watchers, would be a couple excellent old movies to start with if people want to get themselves into a kind of Turner Classic movie moment.
Okay, well, Red Shoes, darling. I mean, do we really have to tell this audience?
Good morning.
Red Shoes. Good morning.
Red Shoes.
Do we really have to tell this audience to watch The Turning Point? Okay, I'm just asking. No.
Incredible.
No, because The Turning Point is the greatest thing ever. Just the whole idea of like, you know, watching like a close up of Anne Bancroft, and then some like ballerina doing like Sinead turns, and they're going like, it's the best thing in the world.
Well, and the way that it's going to skip forward to Sarah Lane's body with Natalie Portman's head and Black Swan,
right?
Just hilarious.
I know. Anne Bancroft was like, I'm not learning anything about ballet. I'm not doing it, but I'll get as thin as a stick.
Anne Bancroft was always that.
Wait a minute. I never saw that movie. How about that? I've never seen it.
Black Swan?
Je n'ai rien vu. No, I've never seen it.
Isaac. You have to watch it. You'll laugh so hard.
Well, who knew it was Sarah Lane? That's not a match at all, body-wise, I don't think.
It's so short, so small. Little. Natalie's like 5'5", Sarah Lane 5'6".
Sarah, no, Sarah
like
is
big.
so short. She's tiny. They're both
I
tiny.
guess that 5'5" not short. Like 5'2" is short, right?
Right. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm 5'8", so I'm like.
I knew Natalie when she was 14, and she was literally that big. And I thought like Sarah Lane is like bigger than Natalie, but I guess Natalie grew a little bit or something.
She might have. I mean,
Hey,
she
listen,
grew.
Santé.
Cocktails. Cheers. Just whiskey, no ice for me.
I have no
last
liquid.
night-
I hope
I
my
last
cords
night
hold up.
watched The Birds and I have to say that's a good place for people to start. The pacing of The Birds is so queer that it's definitely going to predate David Lynch. Like it does this thing, and when she goes to the school and smokes, waiting to like talk to the kids, and the crows are piling behind her. I mean, honey, that's
the background are doing that, like she combs her hair but once a year.
Bippity boppity down.
Now. Yeah, exactly. It goes on and on and on.
It goes,
She's sitting there smoking with this perfect blonde kind of chignon in that suit, right? It's so ridiculous.
The green suit that she has to wear for a solid weekend because she didn't know. It's very queer. Like you go somewhere you didn't know, or maybe most of us knew.
Well, I have to tell you, I read like everything about Hitchcock there was to read, and I read a lot about Marnie Nixon. No, not Marnie Nixon. What's her name again? Melanie Griffith's mother. What's her name?
Melanie Griffith's mother?
Yeah, that's Melanie Griffith's mother.
Tippi Hedren.
Tippi Hedren.
Oh, there you go.
So anyway, in that movie, you know that scene where she is in the attic and she's fighting off the birds?
Yeah.
Well, you know how they did that? I read this thing once. They actually attached birds to elastics and then attached the elastics to her suit. So every time the bird tried to fly away, it would like fly into her. And she was like at the end of that day, like she was doing it all day. And he somehow like tortured her. He just wanted her to do another take and one more take and one more take. And finally, at the end of the day, she was just so traumatized. Like they couldn't, right? Like she just could never get over this thing about these birds attacking her. Could you imagine that?
No. I wonder how many birds broke their legs.
That's what I think. I mean, today you would never have such.
You could never do that, or that like chicken scene in John Waters's Flamingos.
You could never do anything of John Waters.
It's just CGI chicken.
It would just be a CGI chicken. But the Tippi Hedren in The Birds, because last night on BBC America, they were doing a double feature of The Birds and Psycho, and I haven't seen either of those in a long time. And The Birds it's a movie that I've seen numerous times, but really got me this time. This time I was like, and Camille Paglia wrote like a whole book on it, I think, or some big essay.
I never read it. I love Camille Paglia.
I mean, mad. She's absolutely mad. Yeah.
I met her once or twice. She's amazing. She's such a great thinker and a great writer.
Well, and a totally intense energy. I've met her a couple times as well, and it feels like
crazy. You mean
yes, crazy, like a huge crazy. Has read every single book, Freight Train.
Everything. No, she's so intellectual. She's really, truly intellectual.
Did you ever see that thing? It was like called Bad Women or something, and it's where it ends, and she talks about how new feminists can suck eggs in hell. That's like her.
Oh wow.
That's like her like parting comment of the anyhow. Camille Paglia, better word. We're already at Camille Paglia. Reed's like, I don't know who that is, and Reed's like, I don't read, but Reed's reading now because she's getting a master's.
What are you reading?
Well, I'm reading a couple books just for fun, but I'm reading some dance theory books for a master's degree that are pretty dry. They're dry.
Theory's generally dry.
Yeah, but
theory's generally not too wet.
I have a question.
Yes.
And I wrote it down earlier because I heard it on a podcast earlier today. What is Peloton?
What is Peloton? Isn't it that awful exercise regime thing that you buy? And
yeah, what is it?
I don't know. It's like a machine that you install and you have like
I think I saw an ad for that.
Like Nordic Track?
Well, yeah, except like the 2020 version, and it's like there's a run on them because people are freaking out. They want because you get a trainer, you get like a video of a trainer who goes, "Come on, move your ass, you know, get
Yes.
your ass to, you know, and it's like, I guess there's a bike involved and like a
Oh, it's
rowing
it's
involved.
like rich home
Yeah. Yes,
exercise.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, thank you.
And I think there's like a thing where you can row with it too,
Yep.
maybe. But
Yes.
Reed, why did you ask that question? How did it come
Because
up?
I've heard that word probably like 300 times in the last 2 months, but I didn't fully understand what it was.
Wow.
I knew it was to do with exercise, but I couldn't visualize it, and I didn't bother looking it up.
A friend of mine yesterday, I said to him, he sent me this like clip of this singer who we really like, and she was singing
Who?
this little
Who's
song.
the
I'm not
singer?
going to say, no, I can't say because it's rude, right? And it was this great.
It's rude to say who you like.
Wait a minute. No, wait a second. Because I didn't like the way she was singing this song, and I wrote to him, yeah, I like her, except what a Megillah. You know, I said, what a Megillah. You know, can't she just sing the song? He said, you know, I could never really understand what a Megillah was. You know what a Megillah is, right?
No.
Megillah? Well, if you don't know what Peloton is, then you're never going to know what Megillah is. In the Jewish religion, on Purim, you read the Megillah, which is just so long and ornate, and it just scrolls on. It comes in a scroll. You like scroll it out, the whole thing. So when you say something is a fucking Megillah, it just means it's so long and drawn out. And can't you just sing the damn song?
And the way she was singing it, she was really bringing the whole scroll to
the
it.
whole drama of the story of Esther and Achashverosh and Haman.
Speaking of, is Esther your Kabbalah name? What's your Kabbalah name? If we have to pick it, mine's Judith.
Kabbalah.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what? I shun the Kabbalah. I shun it. I'm not kidding. I don't believe in Kabbalah. I really don't. I'm sorry, everyone. I know that's
no. Well, of course not. I mean, it's like it's a praying for money moment.
Can I tell you? I thought of the best name for like my next dog or daughter, Carol Ann.
Oh, absolutely.
Isn't that, I mean, how do you not have dogs named Carol Ann?
Haunted. I hope they're blonde.
Exactly. Well, I thought Carol Ann would be the best. Aside from my drag name, which is Barbara Please. You know that's my drag name, Barbara.
Barbara Please. So Reed, what Isaac's referencing here is Mommy Dearest.
Reed knows, doesn't he?
No, Reed originally thought Poltergeist.
No, well, Carol Ann is also in Mommy Dearest.
Mommy Dearest. Yeah, wait. By the way, my face is going to freeze in this position. Wait, but Reed, darling, excuse me? What?
Isaac, don't worry. Don't worry. I'm familiar with the both, but my brain was at Poltergeist. So don't worry.
And I was very non-binary with it. I selected both Mommy Dearest and Poltergeist at the same time because I am kind of a fan of those movies.
Yeah, Mommy Dearest was a family favorite with Honey Walters. We were watching it at home when I was 10, 11.
Same with my mother.
Dangerous.
Same.
Hey, listen,
so my mother really loved Dynasty.
Wait, do you say binary or binary?
Binary.
Binary. Okay.
Well,
binary.
It's kind of like, you know, I do kind of hit the bi a little bit.
I say binary, like canary. Binary.
As we were talking about even before we all got on together, heteroflexibility, you know, there's these things happening these days, which we've all lived through as well and are excitingly like having a resurgence. I mean, Judith Butler, come to the stage, please.
In defense of my mother showing us Mommy Dearest, I think she was doing it to prove to us that she is an excellent mother. You know,
what's wrong with showing your child Mommy Dearest?
Wait a minute. I have a question. Now, I have a question for you. Yeah. Do you follow that hilarious queen named Evan Ross Katz?
Of course.
Of course.
Of course I do.
Did you see the post this morning about the 66-year-old woman that is suing all gay people? That was one of the best things I have ever seen.
I haven't seen that.
And I thought, what took so long? What took so long, right? B, my lawyer's on it, right? C, I'm sort of behind her. Like, I'm suing all gay people too. And I'm not even 66. What about that? That is funny, right? That
a 66-year-old woman is suing all gay people?
Yeah, from Arkansas or something.
What are her reasons in the suit? What is she upset about?
I didn't even need to know. I just thought it was. I accept the joke. I laugh.
Peloton.
Wait, Isaac. Speaking of an older woman and little homosexual boy, what about Faye Dunaway?
Well, right.
And we also were talking about Mommy Dearest. Isaac, do you know Faye?
Yes, I used to know her.
What was she like?
Wait a minute. Now I have a kind of a story about her. She came up for, are you ready for this? Well, you've seen Unzipped maybe, right?
Of
And
course.
there are segments in that movie that sort of intercut with different movies, like The Red Shoes, right? There's that whole sequence where I talk about Lermontov, etc. And there's
Right.
like mommy,
Nanook of the North.
references. What?
Nanook of the North.
Right, Nanook of the North, Baby Jane, etc. Right. So we filmed, like Faye Dunaway called and needed clothes to some like I guess she was working on like a sitcom in 1994 or 1995. So she came up like she was playing like a working woman, right? Like in an office. So she needed clothes for the office. So she came up for a fitting, right? And of course, it was we descended upon her with an entire film crew because weren't we working on Unzipped? And she came in and we did this long fitting, like hours and hours, and we taped the whole thing. And one thing I will tell you, which was so hilarious about Faye Dunaway, she would like look in the mirror, and when she liked something, she'd say, "Oh, this is very Faye." Very. And I thought, you have to start referring to yourself in the third. Like, wouldn't you? How do you not do?
Iconic.
A. Okay. Then B. We cut this whole segment together.
Yeah.
With the fitting and intercut with "Mommy Dearest," and it was a gem. It was so great. And then she wouldn't let us use it because she runs the "Mommy Dearest" licensing. It's like her property. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I'm not sure how that happened. Like whatever studio or whatever, forget it. Nobody owns it. She runs the licensing, so she just wouldn't let us. Like Mary Tyler Moore let us do stuff, and everybody let us do stuff.
Eartha Kitt, Eartha Kitt kind of comes into that movie and is like, I think this is my movie.
I know, exactly. Like, Isaac who?
Wait, I have a question.
Wait, I want to say something and then you can go read. I'll never forget Eartha Kitt ever. And it's been a while since I've seen Unzipped. I remember as a kid, I would walk around and be like, I need something to move around in. I mean, that was iconic. And that is, I do have to say that whatever Faye did to get a hold of the production rights of "Mommy Dearest,"
I know, bless her for that,
is tremendous. And I also remember she sued Andrew Lloyd Webber before Patty. I mean, come on.
Legendary.
And she even sort of
legendary.
She says that Andrew Lloyd Webber is she calls him a something kind of man. Ladies and gentlemen who are typing in the comments, let me know if you remember what Faye calls Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Are there actually anybody watching this? People are actually watching? Are you serious?
Yes, people have written in. Someone wrote in, my name is Carol Ann.
Is it one word or hyphenated or what? I always wanted to know.
It's actually Carolyn Ann.
Oh, Carol Ann. Right. We call her Carol Ann.
Also, people can't believe that you missed the Peloton wife read, and I also missed the Peloton wife. So I don't know what that is.
That is. None of us know. To whoever you are.
A couple lawyers who are watching this who said there's a lawyer's written to another lawyer that they should come out of legal retirement to handle the lawsuit.
Right, to represent the woman or the gay people.
Yes, thank you.
The woman.
The lawyers who commented here, are you going to represent queers or the woman in Arkansas who's suing all gay people?
So fantastic.
Okay, Reed, what's your question?
My question for Isaac is, did you ever dress Madonna?
Yeah, once or twice.
That's a question on behalf of Jack.
What was it like working with M?
Well, I didn't really work with her. I think I made one fitting with her in my entire life. It was this, I think I remember, it was like a navy blue. It was sort of like mopped right off of Sophia Loren from that movie where she does with Clark Gable, where she does that crazy dance. She's got this big red bow with like a white collar, and it's this kind of sheer navy thing. I think I made that for Madonna, and she has a few things. But I knew her. I was like friends with her for a minute with Sandra, and she is great. I mean, she is really great. She is. I'm not kidding. Like,
see, I told you, Reed.
You would not be. She's not awful. Like sometimes
always
awful, and she's not.
Always wanted to meet her. We have the same ENT, Dr. Kessler, so I always felt like I was getting close. And and
wait, say the thing, Jack. Say what he said to you.
About my eyes?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that was a nurse. We also have the same nurse. I
Okay.
went in and there was this like I used to go to this place. It was just too shishi. It took too long to wait. Like I would go and it was this doctor that's like kind of like, every queen's doctor. And so you have to wait like 45 minutes because of who this doctor is. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. But on my first appointment, the nurse was like, you know who you look like? And I was like, no. And he said, Madonna. And I was like,
You look
what?
nothing like
And it's
Madonna.
if I go, he said that our eyes look the same. And if I go like this, I do look like her in Rain.
Nothing. Not a thing.
I look like Madonna. He said me and Madonna have the same eyes. We're just
Isaac,
Midwestern girls.
Isaac, were you ever totally overwhelmed during a fitting at your studio by like someone being wild or a star or something crazy?
Sure. Every minute of my life, I was always overwhelmed. Don't you always feel overwhelmed by everything? Are you kidding?
Yes.
No.
Like even still, I still feel overwhelmed by things.
So Reed doesn't feel overwhelmed by people. I feel continually overwhelmed. And Isaac, I really agree with you on something you recently brought up, which was, people should take Xanax or Klonopin or whatever they need to do.
I think so. I do too. I think that's true.
I think whatever you need to do, especially to get through this next 2 years, really.
Yeah.
I think take what you need to take.
And invest in those companies that make those drugs.
That's wise. I've never thought of doing that. I should absolutely. Wait, what about Winona Ryder? Speaking of Klonopin.
Wait a second. Can we talk about her for a minute?
We can talk about her for as long as we want.
I have to tell you something about Winona Ryder. Have you watched Plot Against America?
No.
Have you?
I saw the first episode.
I know you don't read, but you should read The Plot Against America because it's a beautiful, beautiful book.
Oh, I didn't read it. I just watched the first episode with Winona.
Well, wait a minute. It could be that the rest of the actors was so terrible that she just shone like a diamond. But is she like the best actress who ever lived or something? Like seriously, she was so good. I didn't even recognize her. I was like,
so recently I've been thinking whose life, if I could have been born into their life, do I wish I would have had? And it was Winona Ryder's.
Well, forget her life. I'm serious. I am watching this thing. I finished watching it on HBO. It's pretty good. But and the book is great, and it's such a great idea for right now, Right. But the point is that Winona Ryder is gifted as an actor. I can't believe how committed she is to every fucking thing that comes. She's great. I mean, I've always, but she's never really been, in like Heathers. I mean, like you don't really see it, you don't really see it in Mermaids. I mean,
you just see her skin. She had that unbelievable skin.
Well, and she's iconic in Edward Scissorhands and Beetlejuice. I mean, when she got to work with Tim Burton, it was these moments where it was really, she was just such a star. But I'd also say, that's Michelle Pfeiffer's greatest performances in Batman Returns as Catwoman. I mean,
totally. But that's a whole other cat.
Hi, Jane.
Wait a second. How old are you, Queens? Can I ask you?
I'm 41.
39.
Wow, you're so old. I thought you were
I know.
Jane. My Aunt Jane's gonna say hi.
We're
Come
old.
say hi.
Reed's Aunt Jane is there. Does Aunt Jane know Isaac? Aunt Jane's a producer in Hollywood.
Hi.
But Aunt Jane was in New York in the 80s, so maybe you met her at the charcuterie.
Well, wait a minute. Here's the thing. I just have to say something. Now, listen to me, Jane, about these queens, right? It's like, you go, oh, don't you love old movies? And they go, yeah, I love, Moonstruck. And you're like, no, that is not a fucking old movie.
That's not me.
But no, I mean, when
that's not me. I would immediately say, if I had to say my favorite old movie, I would immediately say Now Voyager.
Right. Well, there you go. Now Voyager. That's a good old movie.
All About Eve.
Yeah. Well, that's
all of it. All About Eve.
Night of the Hunter. That's one we watched a lot.
That's Honey's favorite movie is Night of the Hunter.
5 Easy Pieces.
That's her favorite movie with Robert Mitchum.
Bye, nice to meet you.
Bye, Aunt Jane.
Wait a second, like Robert Mitchum and what's her name? Like, what's her name?
Shelley Winters.
Don't know.
Yes, but the woman, the old lady from The Silence, what's her name? The Gish sister. Lillian Gish with the shotgun. It's the best thing in the world.
Lillian Gish at the end with a shotgun. Wait. Isaac, we have a question here. Have you heard the ballroom voguing chants featuring your name?
Probably. Well, this giant ballroom house named the House of Mizrahi. You know that, right?
Yeah.
The legendary House of Mizrahi. I'm serious. And the legendary children of the House of Mizrahi.
Have you worked with these children?
Occasionally we have met.
Okay.
Like when it first started forming, I was really interested, and I used to go to balls all the time.
Yeah.
And I love balls.
I think the last time
I
I was
love
at a ball,
balls. Oh, sorry.
what'd you say?
He said, "I love
I
balls."
said, I love balls.
I mean, hi.
Okay,
I think everyone here can agree on that. And I think the last ball I was at was the latex ball, like maybe 2 years ago.
The last ball I was at was like a sort of a put together ball, like in Midtown somewhere, and it was like an event to benefit something. Because now everything's a fucking event to benefit
Everything.
something. Not bitter at all. Not bitter at all.
It's,
But it was still very good. It was very, very good.
Isaac, do you remember, speaking of Faye Dunaway, and when I'm in Parker Posey's house, and I just rewatched Drunks. Do you remember Drunks from 95 with Sam Rockwell? Parker's in it, and she's quite frankly the best part. Callista Flockhart, Faye Dunaway, Amanda Plummer, and then some guys I can't remember except for Sam Rockwell. And Faye Dunaway, it's so good. This one woman's share, it's an AA meeting, and it's like, it's so nostalgic for New York in the 90s. Like, you're just like, oh my God, remember that? And when Faye Dunaway does her share in the AA meeting, honey.
Come on, she does share?
No, well,
no,
she
shares.
Oh, right, she
for like, hi, I'm
like,
Janet, and I'm an alcoholic.
Like Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves. That'd be amazing. I would pay anything to see Faye Dunaway do that, right? Like, I got you, babe. Seriously.
I would pay anything to see Faye Dunaway sing.
That really happened. That just happened, kids.
That's a Ryan Murphy show. She's going to get cast to play Cher.
Totally.
Ryan Murphy would do it.
Hey, by the way, why is he not casting me and Parker, by the way? Why is he not casting us?
That's true.
Hey, Ryan, are you listening? Darling.
That's true.
That's true.
That's true.
Ryan Murphy should absolutely be casting you and Parker, and I think I finished mine in like the next really good one he does. Wasn't he going to be I thought he was doing this Princess Diana thing, and where's that? Did it happen?
I don't know. No. I think HBO.
That was his next feud.
Is it? Oh, okay.
But it's
so it's not HBO. Maybe it's FX.
Ryan Murphy.
He's very FX. Very FX.
Oh, he did do that thing with that queen with the lips.
Hey, wait a second. Someone just sent me this thing on Instagram, and I will send it to both of you because I forgot to send it to you. But it's that incredible clip of Bette Davis on the Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. And that I think she's wearing that kooky like Patrick Kelly hat. You know, that crazy hat with the buttons on it?
Yes.
I think she's wearing some kooky hat and she's smoking. And he says to her, and it's the best thing, you don't know what I'm going to say about Faye Dunaway and Bette Davis.
I do. I know, but Reed doesn't.
Reed, she's talking to him, and Johnny's like, well, who don't you like? And before he finishes the question, like, who doesn't she like? Miss Faye Dunaway. It's like she can't wait to say how much she hates Faye Dunaway. It's the best thing in the world. I can't.
Well, and it's in Feud that Ryan Murphy did. Faye held up a whole day of shooting while Betty was in hair and makeup, and she was like,
this clip, it's the best thing in the world.
And Bette Davis says, I'll say many things about Miss Crawford, but she's a professional, and she always showed up early and knew her lines. Faye Dunaway does not, and she's not an actress. It's like Bette Davis cannot. Well, also, and Reed knows, as I don't know if you know, my favorite Bette Davis quote is she's on, I think, a Dick Cavett.
Dick Cavett.
And he's like, Betty, why don't you come back to they play a song she sang in a musical, and she sings along with a bit, and he goes, Betty, why don't you come back to the theater? And she's like, I know at my age I'd have a lot of roles to play in the theater. It's just that I hate theater. Isn't it awful? And he goes, what? And she goes, I hate theater. And it's really
she does. But wait a second. When I was in performing arts high school, right, I had this amazing voice and diction teacher called Ruth L. Kohler. She was divine, children, divine.
Well, listen to you. She must have been.
Oh, you would live for Mrs. Kohler. And she told this story. It was either her or Roz Shine, one of the two voice teachers who were amazing voice and diction teachers. They told the story about how, because everybody worships Bette Davis and they think she's a great actress. But then the thing was that she just wasn't any good on stage. And it was either Mrs. Shine or Mrs. Kohler, and she said that she went to see like Night of the Iguana, something starring Bette Davis. Where was I? Okay,
right.
And she came out on stage without a bra. This was what without a bra, like in some blouse without a bra, how that was worth mentioning, but it was, I guess, you know, 1970 whatever in Performing Arts High School, without a bra, and she waved at the audience and she said, "I'm going to start now," and then she started the play. Like
Heaven,
she actually looked at the audience and waved,
heaven.
and I thought, like, wow, that's bad. It's
I
bad.
think that's,
I think it's a good icebreaker. Just get comfortable.
I think it's a real, I've been, while in Quar, I rewatched rather, all of Bette Davis's interviews that you can find on YouTube. And she talks about this one where she's like, well, I had to bow when I came out on stage because they wouldn't have stopped clapping if I hadn't.
Right. Well, this is the thing.
Uh-oh.
I mean, how do you make an entrance as Bette Davis?
And that I thought was really good. There's a queen who I want to mention, by the way, who I just think is, okay, what were you saying about?
Oh, I just said uh-oh because everything froze, but then it unfroze and everything was fine.
Oh, that's only your internet. Isaac and I are fine. There's this queen who I want to mention on Instagram named Erin Harris, and her account is It's Erin Up My Heart. And she does these voiceovers of Ina, the barefoot Contessa, where she takes a clip and does a kind of voiceover of it, of like, let's end social distancing and go steal. And it, like, there's different quotes. I'll send them to you, Isaac. I have watched them more than I have watched any other thing on Instagram ever. I don't even know this barefoot Contessa. I never watched the shows. I don't know Ina, whatever. And they have made me laugh so hard. I've had tears rolling.
I can't even wait.
You are going.
They're really good.
You are going to gag. They're absolutely wonderful. And I mean, of course, I think I've already plugged this on Instagram. My friend Cola Scola's show that he put up. It was. Did you see it?
Well, did you see my cameo? You mean because I made a cameo and is it Barbara?
That's correct. For the
Collins? Yeah, the Barbara Collins story. Oh my
God.
God.
That one. But no, but then that's with Jeffrey Self.
Right.
Cola Scola did her own solo.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
Her own multi-woman show.
She cast me in something.
Well, we'll DM her right
Just
after.
ask.
And ask that. I think that's where we're at now. So all we have to do is ask. Isaac, what director would you want to work with? Oh,
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know enough about directors anymore. Like William Wyler or something? Like, seriously, I want to do a musical directed by William.
I think Billy Wilder's dead.
Oh, I was kidding. Yeah, I don't know who I want to work with. Don't ask. Wait, who do you want to work with?
David Lynch.
Yeah, well, of course.
Instantly.
John Waters, you know.
And John, you know, right as I was leaving for Quar, I saw John, and because it was like one of my last days in Manhattan, and I almost was gonna go, John, but I thought we're all heading into Quar. We're just gonna. She was going to
my building. I see him. He lives in the build. He lives in my building. You know.
That's where I saw her going into your building, which is how I knew it was her.
Just don't say the address. That's all. Because
I'm not gonna say your address because we need to keep you safe and stuff. By the way, where is your mother? My mother is in her apartment in Brooklyn, which scares me a little bit because I can't go see her, and it's really dire. There was a day where she was like not well at all, and I thought it was literally like. You know, so I made a real effort. It was really scary. Like it was right at the beginning of the whole thing. And I went there and I had a mask on and which terrified her and I had to stay like 6 feet away. Right. And it was really scary. But then she rebounded. She's back, you know, like Sarah is back.
Your mother how often are you talking to Sarah?
I talk to her like every other day or every day, you know, because
that's really nice.
You know, like when I speak to her when she picks up the phone, you know. No, because sometimes she doesn't, you know, it's like she's asleep or she's not there or she's not with us or something. You know, she's always.
Does she have a phone with a cord?
No, she has a flip phone, which is hilarious.
Amazing.
Well, and she has an iPad, but she doesn't really know how to use it. So one of her caregivers knows and the other one doesn't. So when the one that knows is on duty, then I can actually like see her. Then you can FaceTime her. But the one who doesn't know how to work the iPad, then you have to kind of hope for that flip phone to work. What's your mother like, Mr. Fervor? Well, she's dead. But well, yeah. That's characteristic. I mean, that's something. I mean, it's fierce. I mean, she could be with us right now for all I know. My mother was I mean, I grew up in rural Wisconsin, but she had a great sense of humor. I get my sense of humor from my mother. And
she was very into fantasy, and she was kind of dark, I have to say. She was very funny, dark,
Gallows.
kind of gallows humor, which was weird for rural, middle of no fuckwhere Wisconsin. And but she was, the thing. There's many things that I can attribute to my mother, and one of them is that I grew up watching Dynasty, like as like, and I'm 41, so at the time I was like, 6, and we would eat a cinnamon toast crunch and hope that Alexis. My mom liked the idea of Crystal, but we really loved Alexis.
Of
Have you
course.
ever worked with Joan?
Wait, can I tell you something? Oh yes. I knew that.
We worked with Joan Collins.
Joan Collins. We know Joan very well. I mean, I haven't seen her in years, but we used to like lunch regularly. Like seriously, like Joan.
She's funny.
She's hilarious.
Yes.
Funny. I'm telling you, she's crazy and funny.
But what do we think about she's a Tory though.
Oh, is she? I don't know much about her politics. I know everything about her sex life from 1992 to 2000.
Isn't that incredible? Well, she did this post that was like of her and Boris being like, "Get well soon, Boris, love you." It's like, but Faye is this huge Republican.
Wait a second. One thing that I loved about her, we went to lunch. She was in this revival of Private Lives once,
right?
The Noel Coward play, and I forgot who was the guy. It was somebody amazing. Anyway, and she was in it, and something went wrong, and it didn't get well reviewed or something, and it didn't sell a lot of tickets. And I just loved her because we went to lunch, and I was like, "Well, how's it going?" She's like, "It's a disaster," and I was like, "You're like what?" Because in the fashion business, if you're not selling mini skirts or something, you're not allowed to say that. You're not allowed to say, "Hey, nothing's selling." So everybody's just in complete and utter denial in the fashion business,
right.
Or it used to be. I'm not sure what it's like right now, but it used to be like everybody was in denial. Like
I bet it's the same.
Clothes are not selling. What?
I bet it's the same. I'm sure it's still.
No, I don't know. I got to tell you something. I got to tell you all something.
Wait, tell me the Joan Collins thing. Finish the Joan, and then let's
get it again. I forgot.
Private Lives.
Oh no, that was the whole thing, that she actually could sit at lunch at Le Caravelle, which by the way is closed, which is sad because it was a great place. Lunch at Le Caravelle and say, it sucks. Nobody's buying tickets. And I was like, wow, because it's like no one's buying tickets to your show. That sucks, right?
That
but
suck.
she didn't give a shit. She's such a huge, massive star that it doesn't.
She is a star. There's a couple books here in this house that I've given Parker because I've just been like, you and Joan Collins. I mean, Parker should play Joan Collins' daughter, and totally. Winona Ryder should be the sister. I mean, I should just do it myself. But it should have some sort of director attached to it. Yeah, someone. Some
Isaac can direct.
Can direct, exactly.
Isaac, have you ever wanted to direct a film?
Yeah, I mean, I have directed little films. I sure have, but I can't imagine how you get anything like that done, because you have to start by doing,
money.
That's the thing. It's like
so much money.
You have studios involved and people telling you that they don't like stuff, and I'm not sure how you have to go and do your own thing and raise all the money yourself and do the whole thing yourself. And I guess I should already. I guess I should.
Wait. What was the movie? What was the movie in the book?
Please cast me. Please cast me. I want you to direct me, Isaac. I would love that. Please.
Isaac, what was the movie in the book that you were going to make that didn't happen?
Oh, it was this incredible. It was a novel by I forgot the name of the author. Such a good novel called The Extra Man. Was it John Ames? Is his name John Ames or something Ames or Ames?
Jonathan Ames.
Jonathan Ames, yeah.
I think it's Jonathan Ames.
And it's a great little novel, and it would have been so perfect. And I had Christopher Plummer cast, who is the sexiest.
Love. And even Parker. So
and for a minute I thought I had Jake Gyllenhaal before he was even famous. He was kind of considering it, and then he decided not to do it. But then I got Jason Biggs, who was kind of even better for the part, right? Jason Biggs.
Such a sweetheart.
Jason Biggs. Wait a minute, listen to this. It was Jason Biggs as the lead, and then Christopher Plummer as the lead, and then Lisa Kudrow was in it. She was cast in it. She agreed to do it. She was going to play this socialite, the hilarious socialite. It was going to be so fucking good. And I wrote this script with a really good, he wrote it really, the script writer, but I worked with him. I collaborated with him, but he wrote it. and I forgot his name. He was so wonderful, this writer. God, he was wonderful. And he wrote this great script, and then John Ames didn't like it. And so he didn't give us a second option on it. And he wrote a script. And they
That
and
was turned into a movie in 2010 with
I,
Paul Dano,
yeah, it wasn't good.
Holmes, Kevin Kline, Jason Butler Harner. I love Jason Butler
Me
Harner.
too, but it just wasn't good. I'm sorry. And I love those directors. Those directors are amazing. That
And you know what? Jonathan Ames was in it himself.
right. Well, there you go. There you go.
Do all of our listeners know that Isaac is also an incredible singer? And Isaac, do you train at all? Because I don't understand how you keep your range so flexible.
Well, yes, of course I do. I mean, I train a little, but it's really practice. It's like practice, darling. Practice, practice.
Yeah.
I guess in quarantine, for instance, right? You don't really go to class. I guess you do like a Zoom class led by.
Have you been doing Zoom voice lessons?
No, hell no. No, but you vocalize up and down the scale, darling. And
Yeah.
you sing and you resonate. You sing from the diaphragm or whatever.
Yes.
You just do it. And so I train a little. I have this incredible teacher that I love, but I only take class with her like, I don't know, 4 or 5 times a year. And then the rest of the time it's like, you understand how to warm up and you understand how to sing your damn head off when you're supposed to sing. And also, when you suck and when you have to like get back on pitch or, you know what to do. It's not like a class. Oh, her name is Christine Correa and she's divine. She's a great jazz singer herself, Christine Correa.
Christine Correa. Who does Justin Bond take from?
No idea.
I don't know. I remember her talking about how much she loved her voice teacher. I can't remember. I'll ask her when we have her on. But so, by the way, someone just said I saw the piano and I was hoping for a song.
Well, it's out of tune and I don't really play. I mean, I don't play. It's funny, like when I was a kid, I played, like Gershwin, and I did that. I sang stuff.
Did you play? You played the piano in Unzipped.
Yeah. So, and I sucked in Unzipped. I sucked. It was so bad. Oh, my husband's trying to call, but anyway, no, I don't know.
You can pick it up.
Really?
You want to pick it up? You can pick it.
Yeah.
Pick it up.
This is a dream come true. We get to listen.
Oh, hi, cutie. I'm Skyping with Jack Ferver and Reed on dance. What are you doing? Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll call you after. Enjoy. Okay. Bye, cutie. Bye.
Wait.
What's Arnold doing?
What is Arnold doing right now?
He's about to start watching a movie, and he just didn't want to. He didn't want to like go for 4 hours or something without speaking because we're extremely close.
But wait. Where is he?
Oh, he's in New York City. How crazy is that? Yeah, he came out here. I'm in Bridgehampton, and he came out here like against his will because I was like, no, you don't get it. The world is ending. We have to go to Bridgehampton.
Yes.
And we have to like dig a bunker and like seriously, we have to like unplug the pool and like make a roof on the pool. Like seriously, that's where I went with this all. So he came and he was like, okay, and he was here for about 3 weeks, and we were cohabitating, and not a minute of it was happy. We were like at each other's throats the entire time, right? Because he was miserable. He didn't want to be here. And I was like, but this isn't a power struggle. This isn't about what you want versus what I want. You have to be like, you have a bicycle, you have the beach, you have like, groceries, whatever,
Yes.
But he was just like, sorry, you're right, I'm wrong, but I don't want to be here. So finally, after about 3 weeks, it was like, okay, bye. And then he left. And then the minute he left, everything was great. Like we were so happy, and he was so like stressed, less stressed, and so much weirdly happier in New York City. I don't know, because I'm from New York City too, and I understand this. Like I do, I really understand it. Did you see Kim Hastrider's post about like all these moneyed New Yorkers who are leaving New York? And I was like, Kim, come on. I mean, like, if you can leave New York, like, wouldn't you leave New York? I mean, or maybe not because you don't want to, but don't shade me for like leaving New York.
Also, it's a thing of like the hospital.
Moneyed New Yorker, by the way, moneyed New Yorker. Okay, like
rich.
We wish. Yeah, we're so rich. Okay, exactly.
Rich, as I as well, and as Reed and I go and stay in other people's homes.
Well, no, but exactly. But this is a shack. No, seriously. Go on. Go
I
on.
think I want, I will also come. I've been here for about 2 months, completely isolated, so I'm safe and fine to drive as well to Bridgehampton. I can come and say hi, and
So there
or you can come here where there is a pool, a saltwater swimming pool, which is heaven. I've jumped in it every day, even though
I have
it's
a pool. I have a saltwater pool too,
oh,
actually.
okay, great. Oh, I'll come there.
It's
Fantastic.
it's all
Summer's
up and running. What? I'm sorry.
summer's
Isaac,
all
you should
about saltwater pools.
Isaac, you should go to see my mom's house so that you have like a different perspective on shacks.
You mean the house that you grew up in, Reed?
What? Where are you, Reed Bartolome?
I'm at my Aunt Jane's house in Venice, and she has a guest house, so I'm staying in that.
Nice. Wow.
I mean,
Isaac, you'll have to excuse my speech impediment, but I have clear teeth aligners that I have to wear.
You know, I almost got those because I thought, oh, you just put them on for a few hours, but you have to wear them all the time.
Yeah, you can only take them out when you eat.
So I went to one
teeth are
appointment to this.
great.
What?
Your teeth are great.
So not great. Wait a
Leave
minute.
them
Can I
alone.
just say, wait a minute, listen to this, listen to this. I went to this dermatologist once, okay? Literally a year and a half ago to just find out about it. And she was like, no, you have to wear them all this. I was like, okay, I'm not doing this.
Did you say you went to
A dentist.
I
A
still get-
dentist.
No, it was an orthodontist or a dentist or something. Wait a minute, listen to me. What did I say?
You said I went to a dermatologist.
I went to an orthodontist. That's what
An
I got.
orthodontist.
Orthodontist. Dermatologist. Wait, I get a daily email from her. I still get emails from this woman.
Well, unsubscribe. That is
I
absolutely.
tried. No, I tried. I tried. I think there's a trick.
Isaac, you can just do it at home. You don't even need to go to the doctor.
I know, but I'm
That's
not
what
going
we
to do it. I
did.
have to wear them all the time. So I thought, no.
Yeah.
But you have to like pour goop into stuff and put trays in. I got all my teeth done when I was a child.
I did. My sisters did. I didn't for some reason. I don't know why. I guess
Reed, a listener wants to know, how long do you have to wear the two things, for years or months?
15 weeks, and then you continue wearing them as a retainer at night.
Ugh. I got it all done when I was really young, and I got to spend 2 weeks sedated.
But I think it depends on how much you're moving your teeth, and it's not a huge deal in my mouth. So I'm just like, I'm getting things more under control, but it's slight.
Isaac, I have a question for you, and you don't have to answer this live, and you don't have to answer it. Did you watch Making the Cut? That was the new show with Reed, what are their names?
Heidi and Tim.
And Naomi was on it a lot.
no, I didn't watch that show. I didn't. I'm sorry.
It's the new Project Runway on Amazon.
I know.
It's fine.
I hate fashion. Are you kidding? I can't stand fashion.
I mean, I love
Isn't that wonderful?
Oh, it's
Isn't
called
it wonderful?
Making the Cut. Is it good?
Naomi Campbell's really good on it.
Well, she's never.
Naomi.
I mean, that never disappoints. Never disappoints.
She really doesn't.
I only watched the show for. I got into it only because of Naomi, because she was honestly so honest. She was
Right.
out of all of them, felt
I
like.
could say, here's my thing about like reality competition shows. It's like, I want everybody to like go take a breath. You know, it's like, don't make a dress in 3 hours. Like, you know, sew on a button perfectly in 3 hours. You know, like that's what I want to tell the world right now. I'm
Right.
sorry, that's like very weird and counter-revolutionary or something, but that's my true desire. It's like those shows where they show you how to like cook really fast. I don't want to cook things. I want to literally take hours to cook. Like
I relate.
perfect thing. I swear to you, that's what I want, you know? And I used to be a judge on that show called Project Runway All Stars, right? And I would say to people like, and they say, you know what? Here's the thing, you suck at this, but you could probably be a really good designer but whoever puts like a time limit on something? Do you ever put like, here, you have to make something brilliant in 3 hours? That's
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Advance.
really hard.
when you get a dance commission and they're like, this is the premiere date and here you get your dancers now. Speaking
No,
of,
but I mean, that's different because you have as long as even if it's 3 weeks, you could stay up every day forever for like 24 hours if you absolutely have to. But I'm talking about like on one of those reality shows, you literally have like 12 hours to do that's really, and then they make you leave. They make you go to sleep and they make you come back. I mean, it's a crazy
well, and then the designers come in and they look like trash because they haven't slept because they've been like, oh, I was up all night.
I mean, and there we are as panel going like, wow, that looks great. And I don't even think like, Dries Van Noten Couture looks that great. You know what I mean? I don't even think like the greatest thing in the world looks that great. And I'm saying, wow, that looks great. Because you think they did it in 12 hours, the poor fucking thing. You know what I mean? So I just wish that like we would take that out of the whole, I hate it.
I'm all into, and this is Parker is very that way as well. It's like slow TV, everything slow. Remember slow TV?
Slow TV, slow movies, slow fashion, slow dance.
And it really, back to the birds, it took Quar for me to really love the pacing of the birds. I remember the first time I saw that movie, I was like, why is this so slow? And even when they're being attacked, it's like slow motion bird attacks.
Wait, Isaac, what are you cooking slowly at home? I feel a lot of us are now completely over food and cooking, but do you have any inspiration for us?
No, I haven't really been cooking much fancy stuff. I've been like roasting fishes and making stews and things because I'm by myself. So if I make a lot of food, I freeze it. I never freeze things. I don't like frozen things, but I made like chili the other night and I froze a bunch of it. And tonight I roasted a fish. Oh, I also made the most delicious eggplant parmesan tonight. Oh my God, it was so good.
Oh, I want that immediately.
It was delicious.
What recipe did you use?
My own recipe. Yeah, I just make it up.
Did you bread the eggplant or did you just?
No. No, it was like it was a lot of cheese and it was grilled eggplant.
Yum.
Yeah.
Jeremy did this thing recently where he just took an eggplant and he put it like he just put it on the fire. He put it
yeah.
Great. And then he just kept turning it over this fire and then opened it and took the insides out and mixed it with some stuff and it was delicious.
Right.
Well, I love how magical food is to you, as if you've never seen it.
Well, food's not really my thing. Like when we did our episode, what I really wish I could do all the time is just smoke. Like if there was smoking with impunity.
Oh my God.
That's it.
Oh, that is the end all of life is to smoke cigarettes.
It is heaven. I have to say I had a little relapse during Quar where I was like, I'm just gonna smoke half of an American Spirit Light to deal with my mental state during this. And I've let it go. It's been a few days now. I haven't even.
Can I tell you what the other thing is ice cream. Like I've been eating ice cream every single day.
That's okay.
I could make it, but I don't have the fucking time to make it.
That still falls under the food category for me.
Isaac, what's your ice cream brand and flavor? What's happening?
Haagen-Dazs Vanilla Swiss Almond. That
delicious.
Thing.
Isaac, will you tell us a little bit about Pam?
Oh, Kent, is that
Pamatana, which is
Pamatanowitz.
Everyone should call her that. Pamatana.
Remember Jana? Who wrote Slaves of New York?
Pam. Wait, no. Janowitz. Pam Janowitz.
Isn't that who it was?
Yeah.
But it's always like Pam Tanowitz and Slaves of New York is really a Venn diagram. Anyway.
Did you see that beautiful thing that she made with Simona at Dynasty? Did you see that beautiful show?
Are you kidding? Of course.
I designed it.
Reed designed the costume.
I love the costumes. I'm sure I told you that. Didn't I love those costumes. That is so rare that I love costumes.
Thank you, Isaac.
The whole show was just so incredible. I leapt to my feet at the end. I really loved it.
I love that show.
Dude, that show is so fresh and so gorgeous, right?
Goldberg Variations is incredible. And Bar Talk Ballet, which NYCB will be screening on May 29th, is maybe one of my favorite ballets post Balanchine Robbins. Bar Talk Ballet is. Did you see it?
No, I should.
You'll watch it on the movie.
You can watch it on the movie.
I will do. But anyway, so the Guggenheim asked to do this collaboration. It said, if you want to, so I thought like, okay, what I really want to do, because something about the Quar is like, making me see my life not necessarily as like a linear thing with like age. I'm just seeing my life as like this thing that I want to live. And I always wanted to be the object of a dance. I always wanted to be like this. I always wanted someone to make a dance for me. So I called Pamatana, right? And I was like, hey, Pam. Right, so we started talking. She's like, oh, sure, yes, right? And part of why I did it was because it's so mercenary. I was like, you know what? Dancers need money. So I'm gonna pick like some choreographer who I like and like get some money from that for that. You know what I mean? Like seriously, right? So that was one of the reasons I did it too. But really, like I was feeling that if I could do this before I get too old to actually like, like raise my head off the pillow in the morning, now would be the time, right? So I got her to do it and we just we started, and then we were talking about the music. And at first it was going to be Scarlatti because I love Scarlatti and I was playing a little Scarlatti and I was thinking about Scarlatti. And then she had a few ideas, and I also was thinking about Gilbert and Sullivan, this beautiful song from the Mikado, because I might have sung that with a company. That was too complicated. I was going to get this company. That didn't happen, right? So then she brought up Simona's name, and I was like, oh, do you really? Oh my God, really? And so she got involved, and then it was this whole kind of like, excuse me, like it was so great. And Simona, she brought up these things that she was into. First, it was the settee thing, which I liked a lot, and it would have worked. But then she brought in this beautiful couperin thing, which was just so right, because the Scarlatti and then the couperin, it was right, And so then it was like, you're shopping for like a black T-shirt, and what you really want is a black shirt with a paillette collar and cuffs, right? And that's how that happened, right? And then we started working on it, and it was fun. And Pam is so bright and so wonderful and
brilliant,
so talented. I really mean that. I really mean
that. And when do we get to see it?
I don't know when you get to see. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
It'll be on the Guggenheim site at some point.
Isaac, thank you for also getting us all dancing in the L'Allegro phrase. That was so great.
Right, this thing exactly, which I kept getting wrong, and then.
Yeah, but it was great, and I sent the challenge to my friend.
So this is a Pam Tanowitz. This is for the Guggenheim.
Yes, works in process.
That we're all participating in the videos that are coming out.
That's right. Are you doing them too?
Yeah,
I'm doing one with Jeremy, and Reed and Harriet are doing one with Jeremy.
Reed and Harriet. How is Harriet?
She's good. She's in Brooklyn, but she's in Brooklyn, but I think she's going to come out to California next month because her family's here. Mm-hmm. But she's good. We're doing projects via, video and stuff.
Right.
I'm seeing Reed and Harriet have made a very funny piece for the Guggenheim that Jeremy is doing graphic design and directing with, and it has made me laugh a lot as I've.
Wait, how long is it? How long is it?
Ours is like 4.5.
Oh, thank God, because mine was so short too, right? And then
under 5 minutes.
What? They have to be under 5.
Oh, they do? Oh, okay. Well, there you go. I saw one that felt like 20.
No, they have to be under 5. They absolutely have to be under 5 minutes. What am I kidding?
Isaac, what's the restaurant you're going to eat at?
By the way, during this, Pam texted Tama Janowitz.
Right, Tama Janowitz. That's it. That's it.
Isaac, what's the first place you're going to eat when you're at a court?
Il Cantonori.
Oh, I feel like that would be Jeremy's.
I'm so scared. Like if that closes, I'm leaving New York forever and I'm never coming back. No.
Well, there you have it, New York City. Do not close Il Cantonori.
Or Elephant and Castle.
New York cannot close Elephant and Castle. They can't close Japanica.
No.
The very first place I'll go out of Quar is probably Elephant and Castle, actually.
What about you, Reed? Where will you go? We're finished. It's the end of the podcast. Bye.
That's it. Too long.
Too long. You lost your chance. You could have had.
My brain is so inactive right now. It's unbelievable. I can't remember anything. But that's what I write everything down.
Reed was like vertigo. It was as Reed came forward and the lights flashed forward. It was everything.
Oh God.
I think
That is, guess what? Sunlight through palm fronds. Can you imagine?
Is that your can you do that on your computer, make it look like that?
If we're
This is real life. This is California.
Oh, I thought it was a computer effect, like a.
No, it's real life. The way it goes is, like, if we were to be directed by anyone, Reed would be directed by Balanchine, you would be directed by Billy Wilder, and I would be directed by Hitchcock. That's the kind of the reality of the circumstance.
Not Martha Graham, Jack.
No, I'd be in a movie. I'd be in a movie. Ladies and gentlemen, other, that's it. This is
it. Hi, that was a full hour, Queen.
You believe that was an hour? I could talk. I mean,
it
that
flew by.
That's the thing with you, I could talk to you forever and ever and ever.
I'm exhausted.
Are you?
I need some ice cream.
Well, you're gonna get some. You're gonna absolutely get some. I'm going to go and look at the half cigarettes that I threw away and think about smoking the other half of one, but I won't.
Ooh, don't do it. Don't do it. It's poison.
I won't. That I'll think of you saying that. I said, when did you quit? I
quit so long ago, like nearly 20 years ago. And I smoked for like 1,000 years. I'm so old. I'm not like 40 years or something, and then I finally gave.
That's amazing. Yeah.
If I ever look at a cigarette, I'll just start smoking again, so I can't.
Yeah, it's too hard.
But Isaac was smoking when like you could smoke inside and everybody was smoking.
So was I.
Movie theaters, in theaters, at the New York State Theater, you could smoke.
Heaven.
No.
Yes. Honey, in the middle of a show, they had little ashtrays. They had little teeny ashtrays
in the seats.
Yes, girl. Yes.
Yes, Queen. You could smoke at New York State Theater while watching.
Civilized. They had little ashtrays in the theater.
I would have had a nervous breakdown. I would have never gone to a show.
You would have loved it. You would have loved it. You would have loved it.
Reed, at that time you might have been smoking, and we would have been there and been like, "Look at Gelsey go," because them smoking from off stage. You'd see their smoke coming on stage. They're back there smoking before they go.
Oh, Jane wants to also bring up airplanes. People could smoke on airplanes.
I remember being on an airplane where people smoked.
Absolutely. Oh, you went on an airplane to smoke. Okay.
Yes.
You actually enjoyed smoking.
It is a kind of it's fantastic, but we don't do it anymore. It's bad. And I'll think of you, Isaac, saying it's poison as I continue to not do it. Isaac, I love you so much.
Thank you.
Isaac, I love you too.
Be safe. Just wash your hands and be cute.
Isaac, what are you doing for masks? Just the N95?
Well, I made masks. How about that? I actually made them out of bed sheets. No kidding. Wow. I know, but I couldn't find elastic, so I had to rip up these pants that were stretchy. I'm not kidding.
I bet they're so
beautiful. They look like Helmut Lang. They look like Helmut Lang.
Seams, gorgeous.
I would have loved, back in the day, Reed and I were reminiscing. I used to wear. I had a rich boyfriend when I was younger, and so I would wear Helmut Lang or children's section from Daffy's. And I would kind of mix it up, and it worked.
So ironic. You're so ironic.
Okay.
Goodbye already. Goodbye.
Goodbye. We love you.
Ladies and another, we loves you. Isaac, we loves you. We love you so much. Love you. I love you.
Bye.
I love you.